Do you struggle when it comes to selecting fabric when you're making a quilt for a guy?
We've got some great ideas for you today.
Hi, it's Donna Robertson.
And John Nossel with Fabric Cafe.
We get a lot of notes and comments from our customers who are looking for the right pattern and fabric whenever they're making a guy quilt.
Well, we've got some great ideas for you today, so let's get started and look at the first one. So this is our first one we look at today. It's called Broad Strokes, and this is a great design for a guy simply because it's nice, clean, it's got these nice bold blocks in it and all of that. So let's go ahead and put this up on the table and look at this a little bit closer. One of the great things that you can do whenever you're looking for a quilt or fabric for a guy is to think about their hobbies. And I know that a lot of guys just are gamers, whether it's video games or board games. I know we've got a group here in the office that just love their board games. And in fact, you know, Patricia and I even, that's kind of one of our Saturday night dates. So we get together and do different board games.
Oh.
Because it's a great way for us to spend some time together, and you know, we just laugh and cut up, and you know, we get a little competitive at times, but that's all cool too. So I think this first one's a really great one. We've got this great chest fabric, and this is going to go really well in this design. So again, we're using broad strokes here, and I love it because our focus fabric is this nice big block. So we'll have this chest pieces all here in this block, and then our number 2 fabric is this really neat little crown design, because after all, you know, the king and the queen from the chest
Right.
pieces have crowns on them. So that's going to be our number 2 fabric, and that's going to go everywhere here in our background to help all of this, the broad strokes to really pop out on this. So we'll have that here in our number 2 and also out here on our border. And then that number 3 is this really kind of the grunge black that we have. And that's going to go out here on our borders and in the smaller stripes here to really get everything to pop nicely in this design.
You know, this is a great quilt to have that double focus, because
It is.
even though it's the lighter fabric for that number 2, it's also a double focus. And a little tip when you're doing a double focus fabric is to always get that division between the blocks so that you can actually
tip.
see them individually.
That's a really good tip. So now let's look at an image and show you what this is going to look like all made up. So as you can see, I mean, it's just gorgeous how these all play together in this design, and it just looks really nice.
I can see that across a leather chair with the table in between 2 chairs and the chest pieces in place.
That would be great.
I can just see that. That's great.
So our kit information on this one is Chess Master, and it's using the broad stroke pattern from Quilts on the Double.
Now this pattern is called Byzantine Door. It has an interesting story behind how and why I designed this one. And I'll tell you more about that in a minute, but it's a great pattern if you want to show off a large print. This is one of our biggest blocks that we make in a 3-yard quilt. And it's great for, if you wanted, you could also do a double focus because it has that separation. There are so many pluses to this pattern. So let's put it on the table and show you some great guy fabrics. This is one of the reasons this is such a great quilt, is because it does have all of these big blocks which will accommodate some larger fabric prints. And look at those bears. Are those not cool?
Oh, these are great.
Now it also accommodates a directional fabric. So if you're using a directional fabric, like these bears are all in the same upright position on the fabric, then it would go in each one, every other block, and work perfectly. And you know, I think that this would make a great wall hanging.
It would really make a great wall hanging.
Because you've got those big bears, so if you wanted to decorate a man cave, what better thing to do than to put a bear in there?
Exactly. I can just see that, you know, the big, you know, leather easy chair, and, you know, just those warm, you know, earth tones and all of that.
Yeah.
This would just look great in that.
It would look great. So it's almost like you have these different panels, and it would just be like a piece of art. So that is the number 1 spot that's going to be each one of these blocks. And then this would be going in the number 2 spot. And look at this. It's a real woodsy, watercolory look. You think you're looking, am I looking at trees or am I looking through the trees?
I
It's
think
really
all 3 of these
fun.
are really nice fabrics. They do have a very nice
Texture.
masculine texture to them. It's not all flowers and all of that. So I think this is a great design for a guy.
I've always thought that was funny. I say guys don't believe in flowers. Okay, they just have to remember them one day a year on Valentine's.
There you go.
Now this is our number 3 fabric, and you can see how well that looks. And this kind of looks like wood grain to me.
That is.
Kind of a watercolor wood grain. It's gorgeous. That's going to go, that's going to be our separator for these two so that you can really have them stand out. So this is going to be in all of the sashing as well as in the border. Is this not fantastic?
That is gorgeous.
I can see that on a wall. It would be great.
And I love that this large block on this does give you so much room to use that large print on this type of fabric.
And it's perfect with the alternation of the lighter, the number 2 fabric. It is perfect for that.
Very true. Now keep in mind, this is going to be one of those kits that's going to be going pretty quick because it's got this great theme of this bears on it. You can find those all up on fabriccafe.com.
Now, if you're looking for this one, it's going to be called Bear Den. It's a Byzantine door from the book Quick and Easy 3-Yard Quilts.
So this is our next design for a guy. It's called Checkmate, and I think this is a really great design because it's a little bit taller than some of our other patterns. So if your guy is a little taller, this is going to be a really nice one, and it also gives you this great one big width of fabric in here to allow you to have that focused fabric for a guy. So let's go ahead and put this on the table and take a look at this one. So our next kit is a really exciting one because I know there's a lot of guys out there that just love to bowl.
Hey, well, I like to bowl.
Oh, that's right. You were bowling too. I remember she would take us to the bowling alley when we were young, and we're over here doing a little craft projects, and she's over there bowling, and we're just going like, well, that looks fun.
Well, you were only like 3 or 4. But I did eventually let you get a ball and throw it or roll it down the lane.
That is true. And even today, we still have a love for bowling. It's like, even Patricia and I have, in one of our early dates, we went bowling. And that was really fun because we get to see how competitive each other are at that point in time.
And you know, I have great form when it comes to bowling, but I really don't have great scores. Okay, let's talk about
let's
quilts.
talk about this one. So I think one of the great things about Checkmate is it does really lend itself for novelty fabrics. So, you know, if you've got, you know, the cars, trucks, different things like that, or in this situation, those bowling pins and all of the bowling thing that we've got in here, it works great in this block.
Well, you know, the inspiration for this were customers would come in and they'd see a cute fabric and they'd say, this is too cute to cut up.
Exactly.
And I thought, well, I think I'll design a pattern, and it's the width of the fabric for your strip.
And I'll also say that this one goes together really quick because, you know, you're cutting one big strip and it goes together with this simple little 4-patch that we have in here. So let's look at our fabric in a little bit more detail here. So our bowling theme that we have here is going to be in that big strip. And again, that's going to be just gorgeous to have that in there. And our number 2, is this a
so
great
cute.
number 2? So that's going to go everywhere that we have our tan in our design here. So we're going to have little bowling pins all in here, and we're also going to have some bowling pins out here at the border also. And then our number 3, to get all of this to just pop, is this great red that we have in here, and that's going to go everywhere that we've got our blue blocks in here and out here on the border. So it's going to be just this great, nice contrast, and it's going to look great on that. So here's the time that you're really waiting for. Let's look at this image.
All right.
This just really
So
goes together
cute.
great with all the little bowling pins in there and the theme of all of this. I mean, what guy's not going to love this quilt design? So this one's going to go so nicely for a guy in your life. So the name of this kit is called Rock and Bowl. It is using the Checkmate pattern, and that is also out of our book, Quilts for Kids.
This pattern is called Delight, and it is a delightful pattern, and it is a geometric pattern. So it has those clean lines like we were talking about earlier. It's not too fussy. So it's a perfect one for a guy quilt. Let's put it on the table and show you what we're talking about. This is a fun quilt for a guy, but another tip that we like to share with you is if you wanted to, you know, most of the time the guys are pretty tall and they want a little bit longer quilt that they can wrap up in, make sure their little toes are covered up. And if you wanted to make a twin size, you could, because the different patterns in the books all give you the twin size. But if you don't want to do 2 kits in a twin size, another way to deal with that and make it a little bit bigger is the Add a Border tip sheet that we have on our free goodies tab. So you can go over, check that out, download this, and it will tell you how to add a border to one of our 3-yard quilts.
And this is a great tip. I've actually done this on one of the quilts that I made, and actually used a fourth fabric in it to add even a little bit more depth to the design of that. So this is a great little resource that we've got on our website.
I remember when you did that. It looked really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the fabric. So we have this great coffee fabric, and that is one thing that Bob and I do every morning. We have our coffee together and chat.
This would be a great one, have that cup of coffee and cuddle up under this blanket. I mean, quilt.
Oh, well, absolutely, because we usually have a quilt in our lap while we're drinking that coffee, yes. So the coffee cups are going to go everywhere you see this little square. So it's going to be in these various blocks. And then you're going to have the number 2 fabric is going to be your background. That's your resting place, because you're going to look at those coffee cups, and then you go over here and look at this, and you see this nice cream. Now, I drink cream in my coffee.
Yes.
Yes, but Bob drinks his black.
And I love it that we've got these words in here that are all the mocha and Java and all these coffee terms. That is a great little addition that you'll have some little extra interest in there on that you can look at.
That's right. So in between drinking your coffee, you could read.
Right.
And then you have coffee beans. Of course, you just wouldn't be able to. That's fun, isn't it? That's going to go in your alternate square here. And then it's also going to create this little frame around this.
Oh, this is cool. That actually looks like a candle on a mug.
Oh, on a coffee cup. That is cool. That is cool. So that would be your coffee beans.
There you
I
go.
love it. So we have all kinds of creative ways of looking at our quilts, don't we? Let's look at the quilt, and then we can see how cute that is.
And this is my favorite part of our shows, is being able to see these images here. This is awesome.
Yeah. So this particular fabric really shows off nicely with that coffee cup.
That's awesome.
And then you've got the coffee beans. I love it. I can smell the coffee now. That is really a cute pattern.
You're making me want a cup of coffee now.
Well, we're almost finished here. We'll have a cup of coffee together. Deja Brew. Isn't that cute?
That's such a great name. Hannah does such a good job at naming those things.
She does. So this is Delight from the Magic of 3-Yard Quilts.
So another great tip for guys in picking out fabric and things for them is to get things that are more of a texture than a specific design like bowling or something like that. So in this pattern, this is called Jigsaw, and this is a great example of it. Just got this great geometric in it. And we've actually used batiks in this example. So let's put this design up on the table and show you the fabric that we've got for it. I think this is a great one because there's a lot of geometric shape and movement that's happening in this. And I think it really allows us to play off of this nicely, because one of the great tips for us is that you can find a fabric that has visual texture in it, like batiks. And I personally, batiks is one of my favorite fabrics. In fact, I've actually got a king queen out of this fabric that I'm making for my bed right now, and I'm just really excited about it. So in our fabric that we've got here, again, this is another batik that we have in our fabric 1 and 3, and this just has a lot of variety of colors and texture, visual texture and things like that in it. So this number 1 fabric is going to go everywhere that our red is in this pattern, and it's going to give you just this really nice richness to it. And then our number 2 is what's going to allow us to have that separation between that 1 and 3 is this nice beige tan. It's almost kind of like the burlap sack kind of a look and feel to it.
Or a linen look.
Yeah, a linen look.
Yeah.
And this will be going everywhere that our light blue is in our design here. And then our number 3 is almost the same design as this. And again, these are both batiks, which are gorgeous fabrics.
And I love the way batiks just kind of, the coloration just changes. So I can't wait to see the image on this one.
Oh, this is going to be a great one. And again, that number 3 is going to go everywhere our darker blue is in this design. So let's look at that image and let's see what this looks like.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I think this is just awesome because you've got all these blues and greens in there, and it's just very almost ocean-like.
Oh,
so if you're doing, a little bit of a beach theme or something like that in the man cave, that might be one that you'd be able to use nicely.
Forest River.
Because we've had bears, so maybe you're out. Maybe they like getting out there on the quad and riding through the forest and different things like that. So, hey, this would be another great one for that. So the name on this one is called Forest River. It's using the Jigsaw pattern, and that is in our Modern Views book.
Now this pattern is called Tic Tac. And Tic Tac is a great one that has the separation so that you could use a double focus. And earlier I said that Bob had inspired the Byzantine door. This was an inspiration too. The man really does like to give me ideas for different quilts that we could do. And he had seen a tiled floor and he took a picture and brought it to me. And it didn't really look like this, but it was the inspiration for the pattern. So let's put this on the table and talk about using double focus fabrics. Now, one thing to keep in mind, you know, earlier I said, well, guys are just big kids, but you know, kids are guys too. And I get questions from people saying, I need to make a boy quilt. What can I do? And so we have some absolutely adorable fabric.
These guys are so cute.
They are so cute. So this would be the perfect fabric to make those little guys that are going to grow up to be big guy kids.
True.
So this is our #1 fabric, and it's going to go everywhere you see here. Then our #2 fabric is going to be here in this section. Now, when you look at this fabric, you can see that there would be a little bit of not enough of a separation if they were side by side. So this is the perfect pattern so that you can sash it in such a way that these are isolated from each other.
That's great.
Yeah.
These are so cute. I think this would be a fun design that you could use for an I Spy quilt.
Oh,
You know,
that
so
would be.
I Spy a green T-Rex or something like that.
I don't know, they don't look, well, I guess they do. I see the
He's
T-Rex.
kind of T-Rex. I recognize his arms.
He's the only one I know, though. Okay, so the alphabet would be a cute one, too. You can I Spy the alphabet.
That's true.
Show me an A.
That would be great for teaching him some of the alphabet. So that's
Yeah.
another little fun tip.
Now, this is the #3 fabric, and it's going to go here. And I love those stars. That's so sweet.
And it's great because we've got stars in all 3 of the fabrics. That's a neat little feature that we've got there.
He's very observant. I didn't even really see that. That's awesome.
Does that make me the star today?
Yes, it does. Okay, you can be the star today. So let's look at an image of this adorable quilt. Is that not just
that is
perfect?
so cute.
Oh, I love the way the ABCs and the dinosaurs are both showing so prominently in this quilt.
They are, and I think that's just such a great part of this design for the Tic Tac pattern.
And then I like the fact that it's all framed with that red. It's gorgeous. And this one is called Born to Roar. It's Tic Tac pattern from the Easy Peasy 3-yard quilts. So I hope you picked up some really good tips for how to select your fabrics and patterns for your guys in your life. And I'd like to point out that if you do want to enlarge any of the quilts, you need multiple kits. 1 will make a lap, 2 will make a twin, and 4 will make a king queen. The books have instructions for every one of those sizes, so you can refer to those in any one of the book patterns that you choose to make.
That's great. So, Mom, it's been great getting to hang out in the studio with you today and show you all these great guy kits. This is wonderful. If you liked this video with all of these great guy kits in it, check out this other video that pops up